Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, an interesting topic we always like to discuss here on the channel. Now, before we go any further, please take everything that's shown and said with the smallest grain of salt. The reason why I say that is because we have leaks / rumors, so nothing I'm going to be covering in today's video is concrete or official coming from developers or publishers, right? DIMS themselves or Bandai Namco themselves have not come out and said, yes, a potential Xenoverse 3 is on the horizon. All we have are leaks. Now, the reason why I want to cover these leaks is because this time around, apparently, they said that they have reliable sources. Now, even though they said that, I still wouldn't put all your faith into these leaks just because this actually happened before. Now, real quick, the image that you're seeing up on screen is completely fan-made. They probably made this in like a minute or two. But you guys remember this that dropped back in 2022? Not necessarily trying to shame anyone over here, but the tweet did say Xenoverse 3 is in development, which that part could very well be true. It also said, expect it to release around 2024. It's currently 2026. Where is it? No, I'm playing. So this is why you shouldn't put all your faith into these leaks. Let's just wait for official confirmation. But again, it is interesting how multiple people this time around have the same information. So big shout outs to Lewis for sharing this. It says info on Xenoverse 3 that I got from a reliable source in Japan and that I can now share. So this last part is interesting to me. The part where he says I can now share is because is that technically implying that Xenoverse 3 is on the horizon? And since they're getting closer to that release window, they can now share a little bit about the game. That's just speculation. At the end of the day, the news that we have for today is coming from leaks and reliable sources. So nothing is 100% concrete. Just keep that in mind. We do have about 5 bullet points to talk about. So first one does say, well in development, which I do believe. First of all, I do think eventually a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3 will happen. It's just a matter of when. I mean, Xenoverse 1 to Xenoverse 2, that was only about 1, maybe 2 years of development. Xenoverse 1 came out in 2015, Xenoverse 2 came out in 2016. But to be fair, maybe they started working on Xenoverse 2 before Xenoverse 1 even dropped, or maybe it was just that 1 year that they actually worked on the game. And you see how big of improvements we got in Xenoverse 2 compared to Xenoverse 1, major drastic improvements. So Xenoverse 3, whenever that does drop, again, Xenoverse 2 dropped in 2016, it's currently 2026, that's already a decade apart from a potential Xenoverse 3. So that game is just going to be nothing but peak gaming for sure, 10 out of 10 top tier stuff, and it's something I'm looking forward to. Now, the reason why I feel like eventually there will be a Xenoverse 3 is because Xenoverse 2, that sold 10 million copies, probably like one of the most popular Dragon Ball games ever. Now, I know Dragon Ball FighterZ is also a thing. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which just recently hits the 10 million copies sold milestone. Those are like the 3 big Dragon Ball games currently, right? Kakarot, FighterZ, and Xenoverse 2. Why would they not make a Xenoverse 3 when that game would probably sell millions of copies in just the first couple of days, which could happen because, you know, the Xenoverse fan base or just Dragon Ball fans in general have their eyes towards the Xenoverse franchise just because of how great and popular it is. Just take a look at Sparking Zero. That game sold, what, 3 million copies day zero? Now, it very well could be different for a potential Xenoverse 3, but all I'm trying to say is that Xenoverse 3 would sell extremely well, and they know that, right? The publishers, developers, Caps Corporation, the higher-ups, they know that Xenoverse is a gold mine for them. So that's why I do believe Xenoverse 3 will eventually happen, just don't know when. Numerous delays and some aspects have been completely redone from scratch. So delays, that's like a norm in today's gaming industry, correct? I know GTA 6, for example, that game's already been delayed 2, maybe 3 times, and other AAA games. So it's just expected at this point. Maybe they reveal a game too soon and they give us a release window and say, oh, it's actually going to be dropping a year later. Yeah, that's just something we have to live with. Some aspects have been completely redone from scratch. That's something I like to hear for Xenoverse 3. You know what I'm saying? Because The character models, the assets, they're pretty much outdated. I mean, they used the Xenoverse 1 character models in Xenoverse 2, so technically a decade old for the Xenoverse 2 assets, which is absurd. Xenoverse 3 has to be done right, rebuilds some things from scratch, whether it's the features, gameplay mechanics, character designs, graphics. I'm glad that a lot of the things, or some aspects, have been done from scratch. Graphically very beautiful, which makes sense because, come on now, it's 2026. Just take a look at the recent Dragon Ball game, Sparking Zero. Stunning, right? Graphics, art style, cutscenes, everything to it, phenomenal. So Xenoverse 3, especially with the MMORPG style, 3 versus 3 type of game, we need that 3D gameplay environments to be top tier stuff, something that we haven't seen before. A playable version already exists, and how come I'm not playing it? I wish. Well, this is probably like the alpha build of the game. I think typically it goes like alpha, beta, then like demos or something, hands-on demos. So it's still extremely early according to this tweet. Well, a playable version exists. I'm just speculating that it's a very early alpha build. Release is 2027 or 2028. Let's say if they do reveal Xenoverse 3, just announce it. As we all know, Genki Dama Matsuri is happening later tonight. Yes, that's right, at the time of recording this video. They already came out and said a new Dragon Ball game project will be unveiled. Could it be a Xenoverse 3? Who knows? I'm going into this live stream with my expectations extremely low, but we will come back to this and talk a little bit more about it. Now, the reason why I think it's a perfect time for Xenoverse 3, 2027 or 2028, is because the PlayStation 6, right? Hasn't that been confirmed or maybe even rumored? I haven't necessarily been keeping up with the console information, but I think I heard that PlayStation 6 could be dropping in 2027 or 2028, right? So that's just perfect timing for Xenoverse 3. Now, if Xenoverse 3 does drop before a PlayStation 6, then it will be on the current gen consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, but then later on, Xenoverse 3 will also get that PlayStation 6 and next-gen Xbox console upgrade. Something similar to what they did with Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 1 dropped for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Then it got the PS5 and Xbox One upgrade. Xenoverse 2 was originally on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but then later got that PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series upgrade. So yeah, they could just follow the same pattern for a Xenoverse 3 if it drops before a PlayStation 6. So yeah, I think 2027, 2028 will be a nice release, especially if they do reveal a Xenoverse 3 sometime this year in 2026. Now, going over here, we have Sophion Le Geek. Shoutouts to them. I do know of this person. I think back when Sparking Zero was dropping, leading up to the release dates, they even dropped some leaks about that game. I don't think I kept up with all of that, so I'm not sure how accurate this person is, but shoutouts to them, credits to them, either way. They said, since Clifford shared some info, I can confirm what he said. Xenoverse 3 is indeed in development. Again, great to hear, just because Xenoverse 2 came out in 2016, so that's already a decade apart. Now, we don't necessarily know when they started developments, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. Again, just speculation, because Sparking Zero had around that time period of development, right? 4 or 5 years. There have been some delays, and it hasn't been easy, as some things were complex to achieve. Again, also cool to hear, because they're trying to evolve the Xenoverse franchise, doing things they haven't done before, and it's extremely tough to do so, right? I like reading that for an upcoming potential Xenoverse 3 video game. It's just going to be very different compared to Xenoverse 2. Xenoverse 1 and Xenoverse 2, again, drastically different, but it was like the same blueprints, if you will. Of course, additional features, different mechanics, but you know what I mean. Xenoverse 3's case sounds like it's going to be very different from Xenoverse 2, which I'm here for. The graphics will be magnificent. Give me that cel-shaded look. Give me the epic art styles. We need those crazy cutscenes for the ultimate attacks. We need this to be the best Dragon Ball game of all time. Have elements from a 2D fighter such as Dragon Ball FighterZ, because don't they have like this feature called auto burst, or you know, when you can burst out of a combo? Yeah, they implemented something like that to Xenoverse 2 because of fighters. It's called the limit burst in Xenoverse 2. So maybe they have some different elements from different genre of Dragon Ball video games. I don't know, man. That's just me yapping at this point, you know? No precise release dates at this time. So Sophia and Geek is not necessarily confirming a release window 2027 or 2028. So very interesting stuff. And at the start of the video, yes, that's the image I used. So again, credits to Sophia and Geek if they created that. We do have follow-up information in regards to both of these tweets. So real quick, this one dropped October 16th, 3:07 a.m. very early. And this is like a follow-up tweet to the original one, again, October 16th. So this came out a day after, you know, they quote tweeted their original tweet. So this drops October 17th. And it's just some clarifications they wanted to point out, right? Graphically, the game would adopt a cel-shaded style. So that's to be confirmed. To be fair, all the info that we have here is to be confirmed, you know what I mean? These are just leaks. But yeah, that's different from Xenoverse 2. Does Xenoverse 2 have a cel-shaded look to it, a style? I don't think so. It's more like a weird 3D shaded glossy style. Not a lot of people like it. To be fair, they are getting better with their shaded style with the recent DLC characters, but typically the glossy look, nobody likes it. They should get rid of it. So a cel-shaded style for Xenoverse 3 would be even better in my personal opinion. Regarding the release, we're looking at late 2027 or even early 2028. Okay, that's typically around the release of the Dragon Ball games, right? Either fourth quarter of the year or quarter one or even quarter two of the year. You know what I mean? Sparking Zero dropped October. I think Dragon Ball The Breakers also dropped in October. Xenoverse 2 dropped in October. What the heck is up with October, bro? But sometimes games do drop early, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That dropped in January of 2020. You know what I mean? So yeah, this does sound about right according to the history of the Dragon Ball games. Also, in my opinion, it's too early for an announcement at Genkidama Matsuri or Dragon Ball Games Battle Hour. So I'm glad that they said this right here, because the funny thing is that when they dropped the info, again, October 16th, same with this one, October 16th, guess what? The official Dragon Ball Games and Genkidama Matsuri mentioned a brand new Dragon Ball game project. This dropped the same day, October 16th, but 20 hours later or something. That's very interesting. Now, in my personal opinion, I feel like that's just a major coincidence. I don't think they're going to be revealing a Xenoverse 3 at Genkidama Matsuri, but it's just amazing to me how they dropped a Xenoverse 3 leak, and then 20 hours later, the official Dragon Ball games themselves mentioned a new Dragon Ball game project is on the horizon officially, you know what I mean? So that's everything I wanted to talk about in regards to the leaks. Now let's talk about the upcoming Genkidama events that's happening today. Some people do believe that this new video game announcement is going to be a Xenoverse 3, which is totally fine. You can have your own predictions / speculations. Now, again, I do think a Xenoverse 3 will happen in the future, but this soon, especially today, I don't think so. Now, there are a few bullet points why people think this will be the Xenoverse 3 announcements. First of all, is because the leaks that we just went over, how this came out literally a day before the official Dragon Ball game project announcements at Genkidama Matsuri. And two, it does make sense for a Xenoverse 3, right? It's been a decade ever since Xenoverse 2, so it's about that time. But the third big major point is, if we go over here to the actual website, the video game announcement stage will start 11 o'clock to 11:30. That's JST. It's going to be a combination of the Sparking Zero DLC ends the video game announcement, right? The game producer, Masayuki Hirano, was actually the first original producer for Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. So since his name is back, you know, that's like a big bullet points for some people saying, hey, this very well could be Xenoverse 3. But again, I don't think so. Maybe I'm just trying to keep my expectation extremely low. But he's like the Dragon Ball games producer for all the Dragon Ball video games, right? I'm assuming Fighters, Kakarot's this new video game. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. So that's interesting, man. Happening later tonight. I do kind of want to live stream this. I'm not sure, though. Just stay tuned to the channel. If I do live stream it, it would probably just be the first major stages, because Gekichi Squadra is like the last Dragon Ball game that they will be revealing that I'm interested in. So it could be a very lengthy live stream, man. About 4 hours. All right, maybe I just might do the 2 anime projects or whatever there are, movie and the game, right? So some people also don't believe that this announcement is going to be in regards to Xenoverse 3 is because we have the Future Saga, which is still currently ongoing, right? We just got Chapter 3 October of last year, 2025. Very fun DLC. Chapter 4, we have not heard anything about it. So some people's thought process behind this is, why would they announce a Xenoverse 3 if they're still providing DLC for Xenoverse 2? Which, to be fair, that's a valid argument. But there are other games out there that did the same exact thing. For example, GTA 6, right? They announced it. It's going to be dropping, I don't even know when, next year maybe? But at the same time, they're still providing content and DLC for GTA 5. So that could be the same process here. Announce Xenoverse 3, but still provide content and DLC for Xenoverse 2, which is what they're doing right now. And to be fair, this very well could be the final DLC, Chapter 4, for Xenoverse 2, because we don't have an additional roadmap or future plans after the Future Saga. This very well could be the final one. And maybe at the end of Chapter 4, it could be a cliffhanger to a potential Xenoverse 3 storyline. You know what I mean? So the build-up of Future Saga Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, the entire saga, is probably just the before, or whatever you want to call it, the build-up to Xenoverse 3's storyline with Fu and his super demonic form, or whatever it's going to be. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I do see both ways. Xenoverse 3 won't be announced because of the Future Saga Chapter 2, but at the same time, it could be a build-up for Xenoverse 3. I don't know, man. I just want Xenoverse 3 to happen at the end of the day, whether it's now or the next 3 years or so. You know what I mean? We need that ASAP. So, real quick, Future Saga Chapter 4. I've made a video about this. We do have the logo over on the Nintendo Switch website, hence why the logo is red and not the original blue color. And we have the release window. This is just a placeholder. It's not confirmed, but it does say September 30th, 2026. The reason why it's September 30th is because we do have the release window of the DLC according to the Steam page. Future Saga Chapter 4, it's going to be dropping either July, August, or September, the 3 months. And Nintendo, just to be safe, they put the latest date possible, right? September of quarter 3. Yeah, just very interesting stuff I wanted to talk about. And a quick recap. The Genkidama Festival, they will be live streaming this over on YouTube. We have 2 different broadcasts live streams. So this is the official Toei Animation YouTube channel. This is going to be the Japanese version, which starts in 8 hours. Jesus, that's soon. 4:45 p.m. And it's the English. This one right here is going to be the English. You can see the text changing right there. Japanese, English. Same thing. It's just for us to understand. We're going to be watching this. Again, not entirely sure if I'm going to be live streaming. I kind of want to, but we'll see. We'll see. Thank you guys for the immense support. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about the entire Xenoverse 3 leaks that we have here. I mean, it does sound interesting if true, with the, you know, graphical improvements, building the assets from the ground up, a potential 2027 2028 announcement. And also let me know down below what you guys think the Genkidama Matsuri event is going to be all about with the new video game announcement. So thank you guys for the immense support as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.